And then when I started to assemble scripts, because we're not writing anything, we're pulling from the texts and the poems and the books of Jack Kerouac and the essays and interviews that he's had. We just pulled the words together and we kind of assembled something that we thought was an arc of this person's life. And what I wanted to do was show, personally, what I wanted to show was that this person wrote things that were novels, but they were true. So they were not exactly autobiographical, but they were basically autobiographical. He just changed the names. So what I found was this few books that were the letters that Jack Kerouac wrote to his family and friends. And then he wrote books. And throughout it, you can see this piecing together of the life that he was living, and he's writing to his loved ones, and then he's writing these books, and they match up. And we put them together. And that was, I think, what our addition to the Back to Jack arc of 35 years has been. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it off, and there's a sign-up sheet here if you haven't yet signed up, or if other people come in, we'll have people sign up. But I'm going to read a letter that Jack Kerouac wrote to Sterling Lord, who was a publisher. This is March 4th, 1957. Dear Sterling, I'd rather die than betray my faith in my work, which is inseparable from my life. Without this faith, any kind of money is mockery. Photostats show common, halting, namby-pamby changes that would definitely damage J.K. as a reputed natural writer. Offer Tristessa as is, or as I personally shorten it, or 3 or 4 excerpts as is, but the Subterraneans is impossible in 69 pages. This horrible castration job by Don Allen, who undoubtedly was ordered by Rosette, is a violation of the sanctity of prose, and also the violation of the sanctity of a very careful large poetry, and if I may say so myself, the best poem in the issue. Make this clear. My prose is a series of rhythmic expostulations of speech, visually separated for the convenience of the reader's eye by dashes, by vigorous, definite dashes. Since all of this is executed in one spontaneous word flow, every bit of it belongs to every bit of it. And if it is drastically fucked with, as Don Allen did, it loses its swing. And worse than that, it becomes unutterably more wordy, as though there were too many words after half of them were taken out. My whole believing heart is involved here. I can see it clearly. There will be no American literary renaissance unless the sanctity of personal speech is honored, that indefinable personal quavering sound of each and every writer. Till I hear from you in the angry groves, as ever, Jack. And up first is Craig Firsdon.
All right. I'm just going to read from here. I'm going to read 3 things. They're all poems that really speak to me and basically how I feel. Because Kerouac, I don't know, but somehow I just feel him a lot more than I feel a lot of other poets, especially from that time. So this first one I'd like to read is called How to Meditate. Lights out. Fall. Hands are clasped in this instantaneous ecstasy, like a shot of heroin or morphine. The gland inside of my brain discharging the good, glad fluid, holy fluid, as I hack down and hold on all my body parts down to a dead stop trance, healing all my sickness, erasing all, not even a shred of a I hope you or a loony balloon left in it, but the mind, blank, serene, thoughtless. When a thought of comes a springing from afar with its held forth figure of image, you spoof it out, and you spuff it off, you fake it, and it fades, and thought never comes. And with joy, you realize for the first time, thinking's just like not thinking, so I don't have to think anymore. So this one, this next one, I kind of dedicate to Johnny because it's all about wine. It's called Skid Row wine.
Oh, that's funny. I was going to read that. That's perfect.
Oops.
No, read it. No, read it. Yeah, you did great.
I could have done a lot worse than sit in Skid Row drinking wine. To know that nothing matters after all. To know there's no real difference between the rich and the poor. To know that eternity is neither drunk nor sober. To know it young and be a poet. Could have gone into business and ranted and believed that God was concerned. Instead, I squatted in lonesome alleys and nobody saw me. Just my bottle, and what they saw of it was empty. And I did it in cornfields and graveyards to know that the dead don't make noise, to know that the cornstalks talk among one another with raspy old arms. Sitting in alleys, digging the neons and watching cathedral custodians wring out their rags neath the church steps. Sitting and drinking wine, and in railways being divine, to be a millionaire, and yet to prefer curling up with a poor boy of Tokay in a warehouse door, facing long sunsets on railroad fields of grass. To know that the sleepers in the river are dreaming vain dreams, to squat in the night and know it well, to be dark, solitary, eye-nerve watcher of the world's whirling diamond. This last piece is from his book, The Town and the City. Exactly on page 472. I just liked how it again, it speaks to me. He's talking about something different, but you can really put it to life itself, what he's talking about. Anyway, I'm just going to read it. He saw that all the struggles of life were incessant, laborious, painful, that nothing was done quickly without labor, that it had to undergo 1,000 fondlings, revisings, moldings, addings, removings, graftings, tearings, correctings, smoothings, rebuildings, reconsiderings, nailings, tackings, chippings, hammerings, hoistings, connectings. All the poor fumbling, uncertain incompletions of human endeavor. They went on forever and were forever incomplete, far from perfect, refined, or smooth, full of terrible memories of failure and fears of failure. Yet, in the way of things, somehow, they were noble, complete, and shining in the end. Carrie.
This is from Desolation Blues, the 12th chorus. Little weird flower, why did you grow? Who planted you on this goddamn hill? Who asked you to grow?